All right, folks, let's dive right in with some straight talk that might just change how you feel about getting older, especially if those mornings aren't quite as lively as they once were. And I bet many of you seniors out there know exactly what I'm hinting at without me spelling it out. You are likely starting your days with a glass of something familiar like orange juice or maybe apple cider, right? But imagine this. What if I told you that by choosing 3 specific natural juices to sip on regularly, you could rev up your circulation, boost your inner energy reserves, and yes, restore that reliable firmness down there, even if you are well into your 90s? I'm not pulling your leg here. This is about real-life transformations happening for everyday retirees all across the United States. From the sunny retirement villages in Arizona to the cozy senior homes up in Maine. I've chatted with so many fellows in your shoes. Men who've crossed the 70 or 80 mark and figured their prime was long gone, only to discover that a few easy adjustments in what they drink could flip the script entirely. And listen, this isn't about chasing after some trendy health craze or gimmicky supplements. It's rooted in straightforward science that U.S. regular folks can grasp, no fancy degrees required. Today, I'm going to walk you through precisely which 3 natural juices to incorporate into your daily routine to feed your body the good stuff it craves. And equally important, which 3 common ones to dodge because they might be undermining your efforts without you even realizing it. These recommended juices aren't rare finds you have to order online or trek to a health food store for. They are made from fruits and veggies you can pick up fresh at your neighborhood grocery or even the local farmer's market on weekends. Now, before you wave this off as another pie-in-the-sky promise, keep in mind that solid research from respected spots like Johns Hopkins or the Cleveland Clinic supports how these choices influence blood movement, hormone levels, and that crucial aspect of male vitality we are focusing on. We aren't relying on medications that come with a laundry list of warnings. Instead, we are harnessing the power of nature's own produce, acting like skilled handymen who know how to fine-tune an old, reliable machine that's been running strong for years but could use a little loving care. As we hit those golden years beyond 65, our bodies throw us some curveballs that can feel unfair, like blood vessels turning rigid over time. Much like an old rubber hose that's baked too long under the hot sun, or testosterone levels trickling down slowly. Similar to a faucet with a persistent drip you can't quite fix. On top of that, the juices we grab off the shelf often hide sneaky sugars or additives that jam up the system quicker than a traffic snarl during holiday travel on the freeway. But flip to the positive side. The correct natural juices flood your system with antioxidants and vital nutrients that act as natural scrubbers, keeping your internal pathways clear and your heart's pump working efficiently. Visualize your blood flow setup as the intricate plumbing in a venerable family home that stood the test of time, providing comfort for generations, but now it requires the proper tools to prevent clogs and leaks. These juices step in as your go-to solutions, gentle yet powerful, without any need for harsh interventions or expensive overhauls. Let's kick things off with the first star player you should welcome into your lineup, pomegranate juice, ideally squeezed fresh at home if you are up for it. Or grab a bottle that's pure and free of any added sweeteners from the store aisle. Stick to about 8 ounces each day, and if the tang hits too hard, dilute it with a bit of water to make it go down smoother. Pomegranates have been a dietary hero in regions around the Mediterranean for centuries upon centuries, and there's wisdom in that tradition. They are chock full of compounds like punicalagins and ellagic acid, which serve as mighty warriors against inflammation, swooping in like a team of firefighters quenching a slow-burning fire in a haystack before it can blaze out of control and cause real damage. For us seniors, that inflammation is often the hidden troublemaker that squeezes blood vessels tighter, complicating the flow needed for strong, dependable erections. Evidence from studies, such as those conducted at the University of Southern California, indicates that consistent pomegranate juice consumption can elevate nitric oxide production in the body by as much as 30%. And nitric oxide, that's your body's built-in messenger, waving the green flag to expand those vessels and allow robust blood surges exactly when and where they count. To make this crystal clear with a down-to-earth picture, recall how in your younger days, blood circulation felt like cruising down an empty expressway at dusk, effortless and free-flowing. These days, it might resemble a winding country lane pocked with divots from years of storms and heavy use. Pomegranate juice steps up to resurface that road, safeguarding the delicate inner layer of your arteries known as the endothelium, which functions like sturdy barriers along the highway edges to keep traffic steady and safe. When that layer gets worn, erections don't hold up because the blood struggles to gather and stay put. I've heard from plenty of men in their 70s and 80s who made this switch and felt a noticeable lift in their overall zip, not limited to intimate moments, but extending to daily activities, as if their internal wiring got a fresh coat of insulation. Take, for instance, a retired mechanic from Georgia named Frank, who, after incorporating this for a couple of months, found himself tinkering in his garage longer without fatigue, and confided that it rekindled the spark in his marriage, feeling like his physique was tapping back into its factory settings from decades ago. Flavor-wise, it's got this vibrant mix of tart cranberry and crisp apple notes with a lively zest, perfect for cooling off during an afternoon chat on the veranda. Moving along to our second powerhouse, beet juice. Best when you juice raw beets yourself or opt for a straightforward bottled version minus any bells and whistles. Begin modestly with 4 ounces blended into some water if the robust flavor packs a punch, then gradually ramp up to 8 ounces as you acclimate over 7 days or so. Beets earn their stripes as nature's endurance enhancer, brimming with nitrates that your body transforms into nitric oxide. This conversion is a game-changer for older gentlemen since past the 70 threshold. Your innate nitric oxide output might have, akin to a manufacturing plant dialing back operations because the machinery has gathered rust and grime. Findings published in the Journal of Applied Physiology reveal that beet juice enhanced blood circulation in mature adults by around 20%, gauged through arm vessel expansion trials that mirror the dynamics at play for erectile performance. Here's an easy-to-grasp comparison. Picture your blood vessels as those stretchy balloons you blow up for backyard celebrations. Introduce nitrates, and they inflate with ease, accommodating more volume whether it's air or, in our scenario, blood, to create that necessary fullness. Absent that boost, the balloons remain deflated, and the results follow suit. Beyond that, beets softly ease blood pressure, a real plus for seniors keeping tabs on cardiac wellness, operating like a seasoned crossing guard who smoothly directs traffic to prevent backups in your venous network. A story that sticks with me comes from a 76-year-old former teacher from Illinois, let's call him George, who started juicing beets. He grew in his backyard plot and soon reported his daily constitutionals around the block felt invigorated, with added bonuses in his personal life that had him smiling more. The juice's hue is a bold crimson that can tint surfaces, so dedicate a specific tool for prep, though its grounded sweetness becomes as comforting as a cherished family dish over time. Rounding out our trio is watermelon juice, extracted fresh and don't skip the rind if feasible, as that pale section harbors bonus citrulline. Target 6 to 8 ounces per day, may be iced for a delightful warm weather refresher. Sure, watermelon is predominantly H2O, but beneath that rosy interior lurks citrulline, an amino acid that amplifies nitric oxide production akin to beets, yet with a milder, sweeter profile. Investigations from Purdue University demonstrate that citrulline intake bolsters erection firmness ratings in gentlemen over 60 by promoting vessel ease. This isn't sorcery. It's comparable to pouring premium fuel into a classic automobile's tank, coaxing out a hearty rumble without any strain. For a relatable breakdown, consider citrulline as the master key that swings open the bays in your circulatory garage, permitting fleets of blood carriers to roll in without hindrance. Additionally, the lycopene content battles oxidative damage, the cumulative scuffs from life's daily grind that prematurely weather your cells, much like corrosion on garden tools forgotten in the rain. Older folks who adopt this habit often mention improved moisture levels in their system, vital when prescriptions or advancing years lead to dryness, resulting in reduced spasms and steadier bodily reactions. An 84-year-old ex-salesman from Pennsylvania, whom we'll name Victor, recounted how pulsing watermelon into his morning meal reignited the warmth in his relationship with his spouse of 60 years, deeming it more gratifying than closing his biggest deals back in the day. The liquid is airy and fruit-forward, evoking summertime essence captured in a tumbler. Ideal for leisurely newspaper perusals. Shifting gears now to the trio of juices you'd be wise to sidestep, since misguided choices can thwart your progress despite best efforts. Leading the pack to avoid is store-bought orange juice, particularly the varieties in those big cartons crammed with extra sugars and stabilizers. You may view it as a vitamin C powerhouse and wholesome pick, but the concealed sweetness catapults your blood sugar skyward, like overloading a vehicle's fuel with syrup and watching the engine sputter. Elevated sugar impacts foster insulin insensitivity gradually, which hardens arterial walls and depletes testosterone stores, aggravating challenges with erections. Data from the New England Journal of Medicine associates regular sweetened juice habits with a 15 to 20% decline in vascular integrity among the elderly. It's akin to welcoming wood-boring insects into your home's framework, insidious erosion that's invisible until structures weaken. Choose intact oranges in their place, where the natural pulp acts as a moderator, tempering uptake like safety rails on a steep incline. Next on the no-go list, cranberry juice mixes, those pre-sweetened containers pushed for bladder support. True, unadulterated cranberry offers perks, but the mixed editions swim in corn-derived fructose, igniting bodily swelling and throwing off hormonal equilibrium. This swelling resembles a lingering mild temperature, warming tissues unduly and pinching pathways at inopportune times. Insights from the American Heart Association highlight how surplus fructose elevates uric acid, specifically constricting arteries feeding sensitive areas and severing vital supply chains. A 72-year-old golfer from South Carolina, dubbed Sam, abandoned these blends and watched his stamina level out, sidestepping the slumps that previously clouded his afternoons. Straight tart cranberry is okay in moderation, but the sweetened traps lure with sharpness, only to deliver a bitter blow to your well-being. Finally, pass on grapefruit juice, particularly if your regimen includes typical elder prescriptions, such as cholesterol controllers or pressure regulators. It harbors furanocoumarins that jam a digestive enzyme, spiking medication concentrations and possibly disrupting circulation via liver overload. In terms of erections, this meddling can echo diminished testosterone effects, as though your internal climate control is stuck on chill. Federal health advisories flag this clash, with research indicating up to 50% shifts in drug efficacy. Sans medications, the fruit's sharpness might aggravate mature digestive linings, comparable to grit in footwear during an extended stroll. A 87-year-old hobby farmer from Kansas, let's refer to him as Clyde, experienced this firsthand when hazy dawns intensified, yet altering his habits sharpened things back up. Favor gentler options like lime-infused water for that citrus punch minus the hazards. Okay, let's tie this all together so you can put it into action without turning your kitchen into a full-time job or needing pro equipment. Keep it straightforward, mirroring how many in retirement ease into new habits. Snag an affordable spinning juicer for less than $50 at big box stores, or improvise with a standard blender followed by filtering through a clean cloth if funds are tight. For pomegranates, slice one in half and squeeze using a basic citrus tool over a dish, including seeds for peak taste extraction. With beets, skin a pair of modest-sized ones, dice them up, and process alone or alongside a carrot to soften the edge. Watermelon prep involves chopping up pit-free pieces with skin attached, pureeing, then sifting for smoothness. Aim to prepare fresh batches every couple days to preserve potency. Stashing leftovers in glass containers chilled for no more than 2 days. Ease in by adding one juice daily, perhaps pomegranate alongside your eggs and toast, letting your preferences evolve naturally. Experiment with combinations, such as merging beet and watermelon for a rosy elixir that mimics a gourmet fruit punch. Jot down observations in a simple pad near your favorite chair, rating vitality from 1 to 10, tracking emotional uplifts, or noting intimate improvements. Commit to a full month as adaptations occur gradually, like winding an antique timepiece with care rather than force. A tale from an 81-year-old birdwatcher in Oregon named Ellis illustrates this, as he logged his advancements leading to extended nature outings with clearer vigor. All sans much fuss. Anticipate subtle evolutions, like more consistent awakenings, surer footing on routine strolls, or sounder slumbers free from midnight restlessness. Pair these drinks with light activity, say garden tending or gentle yoga, since motion amplifies flow much like streams gain momentum around curves. Should conditions like blood sugar imbalances or cardiac concerns persist, loop in your family physician prior to major shifts, though these selections are typically as harmless as a slice of homemade pie. Budget-wise, procuring enough for 7 days tallies under $25, far less than specialist fees or prescription refills. Ladies and gentlemen, whether you are here for yourselves or loved ones, growing older doesn't equate to dimming your light. This powerhouse threesome of pomegranate, beet, and watermelon serves as your secret weapons against time's toll, cleansing away negatives while infusing positives. Bypass the orange, cranberry mix and grapefruit snares and observe dependability resurface, defying the calendar at 90+. It's all about rediscovering delight in everyday instances, from sharing laughs over bingo to savoring quiet evenings with companions. Come sunrise, press that initial pomegranate, savor the sharp potential, and embrace a richer tomorrow. Chime in below with your current beverage choices or reactions to this. If it resonates, forward it to a buddy during your next card game. Tiny gulps pave the way to major renewals. Remain lively, everyone. Now, for those craving more depth, let's unpack further why these juices shine for our seasoned crowd. Revisiting pomegranate, beyond general antioxidants, those punicalagins pierce the brain's protective shield, honing concentration like buffing clouded lenses on spectacles. Regarding intimacy, they curb PDE5 activity, the target of pharmaceutical aids, but in a sustained, natural manner, akin to a timed drip irrigation system versus a flood. A clinical test involving males around 74 on average found 45% noting heightened contentment in partnerships post 8 weeks, assessed via validated surveys. It's equivalent to swapping a corroded chain on a bicycle for a seamless gear shifter, enabling fluid transitions. With beet juice, the nitrates transformation happens courtesy of mouth flora, so hold it on your tongue momentarily to optimize, boosting the yield. This connection to oral bacteria is intriguing, parallel to probiotic yogurt's role in gut harmony, but tailored for artery well-being. Many elders battle dry mouths from therapies, so this moistening effect compounds benefits, warding off the parched sensation that hinders functions across the board. George's narrative echoes this, as he blended in a dash of apple for appeal, elevating the practice to a cherished daily ceremony. Watermelon's citrulline teams with bodily arginine to craft nitric oxide, a dynamic duo reminiscent of salt and pepper enhancing a meal, but here, fortifying vessel linings. Research from the University of Connecticut on aging exercisers indicated citrulline uplifted persistence by 15%, which carries over to personal endurance. Victor's sales savvy led him to trial ginger accents, adding a subtle warmth that complemented sticky summer climates. Turning to the cautions, orange juice's heat treatment zaps live enzymes, yielding essentially sweetened liquid that brews unrest in your intestines like forgotten produce drawing pests. The fructose in cranberry blends burdens the liver, fostering lipid accumulation similar to buildup in plumbing, as per hepatic studies. Grapefruit's med disruption stems from halting CYP3A4. In lay terms, it's like erecting a barrier on a supply path, stalling deliveries and sapping dynamism. For personalization, if dexterity challenges manual juicing, seek out press-extracted organics, scrutinizing for purity. To refine flavors, thin with bubbly mineral water for effervescence, or solidify into frozen treats for midday indulgences. Complement with seeds or avocados for lipid vehicles that transport goodness further, like cargo ships navigating inland waters. Don't overlook overall fluid intake, striving for 70 ounces of plain water beside these, since they contribute but unadulterated aqua expels impurities effectively. From real-world insights, a knitting circle of elders in Boston embraced this approach, exchanging concoctions at gatherings. Among them, a 89-year-old artist named Clara, aiding her brother, observed his creative flows intensify, attributing it to the regimen. It's fostering bonds, evocative of neighborhood barbecues from yesteryear. Foreseeable snags include Beet's tinting outputs rosy, benign yet startling initially, comparable to laundry mishaps with colored garments. Pomegranates mark surfaces, hence opt for non-porous prep areas. Watermelons prime in heat, stockpile frozen for off-seasons. Allergies? Sample minimally, heeding bodily cues. Over extended periods, these aid glandular wellness. Pomegranates compounds trimming indicator levels in trials, like vigilant watchmen at an outpost. Beet's pigments purify, alleviating urinary troubles frequent after 70. Watermelon's minerals stabilize charges, mitigating twitches amid leisure pursuits. Map out your routine: Tuesday pomegranate for mental acuity, Thursday beet for circulation, Saturday watermelon for leisure. Sundays, fuse the lot for a festive blend. Gauge triumphs beyond numbers in amplified grins from authentic contentment. People, this represents authority in liquid form, seizing control from aging's grasp. No longer benched by waning, these juices script your resurgence. Infuse vitality anew, droplet by droplet. Voice opinions beneath which produce beckons, till our subsequent discussion. Maintain robust currents, broadening the knowledge base sans technical terms. Nitric oxide serves as the physique's unwinder, like loosening a taut grip post, lugging hefty loads. Youthful abundance wanes with years and pressures, constricting channels like stiffened shirt necks. These drinks restore through building blocks. Nitrates and citrulines as foundational supplies for production, defenders against radicals. Those erratic particles from life processes akin to flares from metalwork, harming structures. Pomegranates douse them, maintaining pliability much like lubricating creaky doors. On hormones, enhanced transport delivers testosterone better, poor movement leaves it stranded like postponed parcels. Investigations connect superior lining performance to 12 to 18% hormone rises in elders. Modest yet building swelling mitigation is central. Ongoing subtle like coals beneath debris, aggravating connections and conduits. Beets colorants, or betaines, but the full profile tempers that blaze. For shunned items, sweets promote gluey byproducts, adhering to frameworks like adhesive on utensils, stiffening materials. Explains heightened issues in sugar managers, though all accrue. Grapefruit's blocker, enzyme suppression, magnifies treatments like amplifying murmurs to roars, chancing vertigo or graver, upending routine balance. Handy advice galore. Commit to slow chew juicers for essence preservation. Deliberate yet complete like a thoughtful pruner over rapid clippers. Stain removal via acidic rinses. Cycle with seasons. Autumn's pomegranates peak. Vernal beets fresh. Estival melons plentiful. Chillier months. Source iced or preserved strains filtered. Integrate with meals. Incorporate herbs into mixes for harmony, like herbs in stews for richness. Post-intake ambles heighten. Downward pull assisting movement like angling a vessel. Anecdotes resound. Frank's fixes streamlined. Georges' lessons enlivened. Victor's pitches polished afresh. Ellis' views expanded. Trends affirm steadiness triumphs, not flawlessness. Should levels stall, cycle varieties or introduce citrus for diversity. Sustaining interest like tire rotations for uniform tread. In summary, this outline charts your course. Organic roots to revitalized strength. Adopt the set, skirt the pitfalls, permitting responses to mirror earlier days at 90. Cheers to abundant existences, vessels uplifted. To conclude thoroughly, foster groups. Enroll in elder hubs for blending sessions, narrating over tastings. It's interpersonal nourishment as well, countering solitude that drains drive like aridity on pastures. Fallacies debunked, nay, liquids don't supplant motion or rest, but augment like fertile ground for sprouts. Affirmative, natural favored to evade chemicals, yet standard acceptable cleansed properly. Adjust portions, if tension dips, oversee beets, since expanders potent. Stone backgrounds, melons crystals slight, but seek advice. Taste tricks, nectar dab if essential, but untreated to dodge surges. Botanical infusions as thinners, lavender calming. Fundamentally, this embodies comprehensive awakening, form thought essence synced via drafts. Elders, your pinnacle narratives loom, extracted to excellence. Disseminate experiences, motivate the network, uphold firmness in essence and shape. Let's extend this conversation a bit more because I sense some of you are eager for even additional layers on these topics. Perhaps to share with skeptical friends or to solidify your own commitment. Starting back with pomegranate, did you know that beyond the vascular benefits, it also supports joint comfort for those creaky knees we all complain about after a lifetime of hard work? Acting like a natural lubricant for rusty hinges in an old barn door that swung open and shut 1,000,000 times. In fact, a long-term study involving over 500 seniors found that regular pomegranate consumption correlated with 25% fewer reports of morning stiffness, not just in the body but in mindset too, as if the fruit was whispering encouragement to get moving. Frank's experience in Georgia wasn't unique. He mentioned how his workshop sessions extended because his hands felt steadier, allowing him to restore vintage cars with the precision of his younger self. And that translated to confidence in all areas of life. Diving deeper into beets, the nitrates not only help with flow, but also enhance oxygen use in muscles, which is why athletes swear by them. But for us retirees, it means climbing stairs or carrying groceries feels less like a chore and more like a breeze. Think of it as upgrading your body's fuel efficiency, like tuning an old truck to get better mileage on the same tank of gas. George Garden in Illinois became his testing ground, where he noticed not only personal perks, but also how his vegetable yields improved from the compost of beet peels, creating a cycle of health that fed back into his routine. He even started sharing jars with neighbors, turning it into a community affair that boosted everyone's spirits. For watermelon, the citrulline doesn't stop at nitric oxide. It also aids in muscle recovery after light activity, perfect for post-golf soreness or after a day chasing grandkids around the yard. It's like having a built-in ice pack that works from the inside, cooling inflammation without the chill. Victor's story from Pennsylvania highlights how he incorporated it into family gatherings, blending batches for picnics where everyone remarked on his renewed energy, inspiring his sons to adopt healthier habits too. On the avoidance side, let's expand on why commercial orange juice is such a deceiver. Its processing not only strips nutrients, but can lead to gut imbalances, fostering bacteria that stir up trouble like uninvited guests at a party who overstay and mess up the place. Sam's golf games in South Carolina improved markedly once he switched, as steady blood sugar meant no more mid-round energy dips that used to throw off his swing. Cranberry cocktails' sneaky fructose can also contribute to weight creep around the middle, which further burdens the heart and vessels, like adding extra cargo to an already loaded wagon on a hilly path. Clyde's farm life in Kansas got easier without the foggy afternoons, allowing him to tend his crops with clearer focus. Grapefruit's interactions extend beyond common meds to some over-the-counters, so always double-check labels. It's like ensuring your tools are compatible before starting a project to avoid breakdowns midway. To make juicing a seamless part of life, consider setting up a dedicated corner in your kitchen with all tools at arm's reach. Like a well-organized workbench for a hobbyist, Ellis in Oregon turned his bird-watching logs into juice diaries, tracking birds spotted alongside energy notes, blending passions for a fuller retirement. Potential side notes: watermelon might increase bathroom trips initially due to hydration, but that's a sign it's working, flushing out the old like spring cleaning a dusty attic. Pomegranate seeds can be eaten whole for fiber if juicing feels wasteful, adding crunch to salads. Long-haul advantages include better skin tone from the antioxidants, reducing age spots like fading ink on old letters. Beets support liver detox, crucial for processing years of accumulated toxins, like a filter change in your car's engine. Weekly plans can vary by activity: more beet before active days, watermelon for relaxation. Success stories pile up, from coast to coast, proving small changes yield big returns. This is your invitation to thrive, juices as catalysts for a vibrant chapter. Share, sip, and soar. Stay empowered. And just to add a few more nuggets, consider how these juices align with Mediterranean lifestyles that boast longer lifespans, incorporating social eating, which we can mimic by juicing with friends. Myths like needing expensive gear debunked. A simple fork can mash pomegranate arils if needed. Fine-tuning for health conditions, low-sodium beets for pressure watchers, seedless watermelon varieties for ease. Flavor boosts with cinnamon sticks, natural and complementary. Holistically, it's about balance, juices as one piece in the puzzle of wellness. Your stories matter, let's hear them. Keep the flow going strong.